The criminal gaslighting at the heart of Quora. These are the Ponzi files, written by Max Azzarello, posted December 14th, 2023. If you are just tuning into this series, I posted this booklet alleging the wildest totalitarian conspiracy imaginable with a map of a sea of proof. The big picture: cryptocurrency is history's largest Ponzi scheme that will soon collapse the world economy. Also, the U.S. government and their criminal allies can escalate the theft of our entire livelihoods with a fascist world coup. Central to this totalitarian con is full control of the media to serve these criminal interests. We've already covered how Reddit is infested with trolls to create a bitter, divisive, irony-poisoned space that leaves us jaded and hopeless. How our most elite universities manufacture outrage and warmongering around the Israel-Hamas war, and how The Simpsons exists to tell us the American dream is dead because we're oafish and divided. In this post, we turn to yet another example with Quora, a social question and answer website. As with previous examples, we can trace several connections to the established crypto criminal networks of Facebook and the PayPal mafia. Quora co-founders Adam D'Angelo and Charlie Cheever had both worked at Facebook prior to founding Quora, with D'Angelo serving as chief technology officer from 2006 to 2008. D'Angelo helped develop a media player with Mark Zuckerberg while they both attended Phillips Exeter Academy in high school. D'Angelo currently sits on the board of OpenAI, whose CEO Sam Altman claims to have built fantastical retinal scanning orb that uses AI technology to produce cryptocurrency that will eventually provide universal basic income. Quora received funding from this criminal network of investors as well. In 2014, they raised $80 million from Tiger Global Management, whose investment include Facebook, OpenAI, crypto, and fintech platform Block Inc., and the crypto exchange Coinbase. In March 2022, Tiger Global raised an astonishing $12.7 billion for fast-growth tech companies. Just 3 months later, the value of their hedge fund had decreased more than 50%. Given the company's connections to proven Ponzi criminals, this massive rise and drop in their investment appears to be more of the same. The loss is entirely intentional as they funnel their stolen money out of the company. In 2019, Quora raised another $60 million from Valor Equity Partners, which is no less plugged into this network than Tiger Global. In 2022, Valor was the lead investor in Anduril Industries, a defense contractor that spun off of Peter Thiel's Palantir Technologies, which sells the public's user data to the CIA. They have also raised several $1 billion for Elon Musk's SpaceX, Tesla, and The Boring Company. I haven't yet given Musk the write-up he deserves, but he and Thiel co-founded PayPal, which was originally intended to create cryptocurrency, and is a major player in the crypto Ponzi scheme. When I refer to a secret kleptocracy as a cult with state power, I don't use that term lightly. Just as cult leaders do, our leaders control the flow of information to make their victims hopeless, helpless, and divided, and Quora is no exception. Now that we've established that Quora is heavily connected to this network of organized crime, let's look at some of the questions and answers so we can learn what purpose it serves. These are not cherry-picked or questions that slipped under the radar. Each of these have over 1,000 upvotes on the site and have appeared in my daily Quora Digest emails over the last month. Rage bait. When you read this question, think about how it makes you feel. Quote, "My 18-year-old son left home without our authorization to get an apartment and now refuses to pay his daily parenting fees that he has been paying since he was 13 years old. How would I go about suing him?" End quote. So, we've got a shameful narcissistic parent charging their child to live with them, and then has the clueless audacity to want to sue them for moving out when they are legally able. If you believe this to be true, it should make you angry. It should make your blood boil. And if you see through this fake question, it might just piss you off all the same. Angry that somebody would post something so mean-spirited to misinform and to rile people up. Now, have a look at some more and see if you spot the patterns. The CPS took my 5-year-old son away because I kicked him out of the house for a day as punishment. How can I sue them for this? My tenant refused to allow me to do a supervised inspection of the rental unit, so I called the police and had him arrested. How can I make him pay for the disposal of his belongings before the new tenants move in? I caught my son sleeping without my permission. How should I punish him? My husband accidentally pushed our 4-year-old daughter off the 40th story window out of anger. How do I prevent my husband from being sentenced to jail? He doesn't need that hassle. Do you see how they're all structured the same? First, they have a rage-inducing statement. Then a question is offered that doubles down on the user's cluelessness, sure to paint them as the villain. Like so much of the evidence is in this grand conspiracy, it's the repetition that proves the suspicion. If we had one question like this, it might just be a troll. But when we see the same exact type of question over and over again, it clues us into the fact that this is entirely by design. Could they make questions that are more rage-inducing than these if they tried? Let's look at some related questions and you can be the judge. Related questions. My 18-year-old son continues to play video games even after I smashed his laptop and deleted his Steam account. How can I permanently put an end to his gaming? My 18-year-old son asked me if he could hang out with his friends without me watching them. As a mom, I would feel very worried if him and his pals played alone at the park. What should I tell him? My husband beats me severely at least 2 times a week. My 9-year-old son is very afraid of him. Last time he broke my nose and it's crooked now. What should I do? My 12-year-old son died 3 weeks ago. My daughter and I have already gotten over it, but for some reason my husband keeps whining about it. How can I make him let it go and move on from it? My 8-year-old daughter shares a room with her 10 and almost 13-year-old stepbrothers. Is that appropriate? There are additional rooms available for her to sleep in. They are additional rooms. My 5-year-old son threw a tantrum and slammed the door of my car because I refused to bring him to the toy shop. So I left him on the sidewalk and drove home without him as punishment. Was this disproportionate? Political misinformation. Biden has ordered the courts to arrest President Trump, and I fear he will start arresting anyone who voted for Trump or supports him. What should I do? Here we have some clear political misinformation. Biden never ordered the courts to arrest Trump, and this user is at risk of being arrested for Trump is not true. Now, let's offer some possible reactions to this based on political affiliation. If you're a Trump supporter, you may believe that this since it aligns with so much existing misinformation. It may further entrench you into partisan positions as you're convinced that Biden is a dictator and liberalism is a scourge. If you're a liberal, you'd likely use this as evidence of the stupidity of Trump supporters and may conclude that those people are the problem. If you're on the far left, you may use this to assert your own partisanship as you laugh at both parties for engaging in this endless back and forth, not knowing that the popularity of these questions is not organic. No matter your political affiliation, this question succeeds in helping to keep us completely tribalized and misinformed. This is a staple of so much media because the only threat to a secret kleptocracy is an informed public united in opposition against our criminal leadership. And once again, we see the same theme in another question. Is Joe Biden intentionally destroying America, or is he just amazingly incompetent? I'm black, and I wonder when white people will pay us reparations. Why not? Democrats stormed the U.S. Capitol, whereas Republicans stayed home. Why can't people understand that? Medical misinformation. Why is vitamin B12 so dangerous? Why is the COVID vaccine so dangerous? My wife is pregnant and just accidentally ate papaya. Is there any way to save the baby? Another common theme is medical misinformation. Notice how they all emphasize fear, that we are all in danger, that a bite of a papaya will kill an unborn baby. Why? Because they're paralyzing us with fear. They're making us worry about everything they possibly can so that we become anxious and helpless in the face of so many problems. They've also used the anti-vax movement to serve up another partisan wedge to divide us amongst one another. Celebrity worship. Is Meghan Markle on Ozempic? How nice is Barack Obama when there's no cameras around? Was Elvis Presley racist? What criminal purpose do these questions serve? They are reminders that we are the consumers and the viewers, that these elites and celebrities are the ones who shape history and that we have no choice but to sit back and watch the show. They decide what happens and all we can do is gape and react. It isn't that no good faith user would ever ask the questions about a celebrity. Rather, it's the fact that we get served up so many over and over again that tips us off to the fact that this is entirely intentional and serves our government's criminal interests. I've highlighted Quora here not just because it's unique, but because it's obvious and clearly connected to this criminal network. Of course, you can find rage bait, misinformation, and celebrity worship all across media and the internet. And when you do, I hope you're starting to see the con at the heart of all this, that they piss on our leg and tell us it's raining. They tell us we're bitter and divided, so we'll believe it. They tell us we're hopeless and scared, so we'll believe it. They serve us up a haunted, poisoned view of reality so they can bleed us dry. So, as you check the partisan news, scroll through ironic meme pages, drink water out of a can labeled Liquid Death, or watch the latest apocalyptic fiction on Netflix, I hope you start to see the haunted fiction our criminal rulers have created for us. And I hope you know that the biggest lie they tell us is that we have no choice but to accept it. That's the end of this post. Just my quick comments. I never spend any time on Quora, so I really have no idea. I mean, people going and writing troll sentences and troll questions. I mean, me as a young person, I totally would have went and posted things like this just to get people going because I was bored and I would have fun getting people going in comment sections and such. It's why not, especially when it's so easy. Is Quora part of some giant conspiracy? I could certainly see it as a portion. If someone were to go post information they don't want out, they could delete it quickly. But are they really guiding us to apocalyptic fiction or liquid death? I mean, they're not putting guns to anyone's heads and everyone's jumping out and buying all this stuff. There's obviously a whole doom economy out there that people love. I know I love it. If there's an apocalyptic movie coming out, I'm getting opening night tickets because I love apocalyptic movies. I love apocalyptic discussion. It's why I'm reading this stuff. There's a huge, huge industry out there, and it's who people are. So is it a conspiracy, or is it just waking up to there's an element to us as a society and people that like this stuff for reasons we should talk about later? I have no idea. I'm going to go check out Quora.